Is this an extreme case of nanny statism? Now, I'm all for kids not having tooth decay. I'm all for dental health. But do kids, even the youngest kids, really need lessons in how to brush their teeth?
Well, schools are doing so well. They're doing a great job teaching maths. They're doing a great job teaching sciences. Our standards are rising all the time. So we have so much spare capacity that we can now have toothbrushing classes according to labor. And of course, obviously ridiculous idea. Schools should be very much focusing on academic disciplines. They need to raise their games because we're not doing all that well in terms of educating our young children. And at a time when schools are in crisis, I don't know what is going through their mind, labor decides that teaching kids how to brush their teeth is now going to be the new discipline. And it's an exercise in basically saying that we're here to do something. And if that's what Labour comes up with, this is their key policy in education, then should they get elected, education in this country will be in serious trouble.
Yeah, as I say, Frank, this for me is an extreme case of nanny statism. I mean, the Tories are bad enough. You know, Rishi's ridiculous anti-smoking plan, all these obesity taxes on sugary drinks, etc., etc. We're adults. We can make our own decision about what we want to eat and drink and indeed smoke. But it looks as if this is Labour's idea of what to do with school kids, teach them how to brush their teeth, then the nanny statism that disgracefully the Tories impose upon us is going to get a whole lot worse under Labour.
Oh, it will. I think Labour is a consummate practitioner of being your mom and dad, your uninvited mom and dad. And their policy is essentially summed up by a term they invented about 10, 12 years ago called the politics of behavior. And what the politics of behavior is all about is essentially regulating and controlling and managing the way we behave in our personal life. Having given up any big vision about society, about industry, about economics, how we improve our lives, they're now focusing on individual behavior, and that really is their specific policy. They will go much further than the Conservatives. And I can already see Keir Starmer drunk of a long list of personal habits that he's going to try to manage. For example, I've got no doubt at the next Labour Party conference, they're going to have a big discussion on whether or not they should be regulating people picking their nose. That's the kind of issues that they're going to be dealing with.
But when did politicians decide that the function of government was to be the nation's doctor? I don't remember this. Do you think it's to do with the COVID crisis when suddenly, the cabinet decided it was to administer to our health? You know, as I keep saying, I think my health is my business. I'm an adult, well, vaguely grown up, but, it's not Rishi Sunak or Keir Starmer's job to tell me how to live my life or whether or not I should be healthy. If I want to be unhealthy, I should be able to. When did these politicians decide they were somehow medically qualified to attend to our health?
This goes back a long while. It's under the Blair government that this focus on, in a sense, on controlling our behavior, our habits, our health really kicked in. It's at that time that they began to have all these policies to do with our weight, to do with the way we act in everyday life, things to do with smoking, drinking alcohol. And in a sense, what we've seen over the last 20, 25 years is the constant expansion of what public health is really all about. So what we're doing is we're expanding the meaning of health, and not only expanding the meaning of health, but we're politicizing health. So that increasingly, health problems invite political solutions. I mean, to give you an example, the Tory government set up a minister for loneliness. Now, I don't know what that means exactly. All that I know is that virtually everybody I know is lonely sometimes. I also know that throughout human history, loneliness was part of our condition as human beings. But nevertheless, they set up a minister for loneliness to try to somehow alleviate this kind of health condition. And you know what they argued? Yeah. They argued that if you're lonely, that's the equivalent of smoking 15 cigarettes a day. They actually kind of brought in smoking as a
No,
problem.
it's not.